Hey guys, how's it going? We're out here for round one of the D14 Hare Scramble season for 2019. We're down here at Plymouth Blackhawks in Culver, Indiana, and we're about to get going. Gonna get the first hole shot of my life right here. Oh, pretty good. We're back on the new bike. Those of you that watched my sprint enduro race, you know, I had the stock suspension on here, so I sent it out and had Factory Connection rebuild it, and it is not right. It's sprung right now for my weight, but the clicker setup is way off. Nowhere near enough compression and way too much rebound. Here we are at first bottleneck, and my hole shot lead is gone. And there's Dougie Z trying to squeak past me there, and he forces his way in. That's okay, because karma comes back to bite him. He would end up running out of gas on, I think it was his fourth or fifth lap, I can't remember, but he ended up running out of gas. He did call in a range or a favor somehow. I don't know. Somehow he ended up getting more gas, and he did finish the race, but he ended up 12th instead of, you know, first or second. So, yeah, the first lap, you know, especially with that bottleneck, it was definitely not my fastest lap. So this here's lap 2. We took off here right from timing and scoring. You know, by this point, the field had gotten a little bit more spaced out. The fast guys are already starting to catch up. Not quite yet, but I believe before this lap is over, I'll be having to get out of the way for the faster guys, but that's all right. This lap was my fastest lap, I think by close to 5 minutes. So, you know, even though it's not a perfect lap, it was definitely the fastest. So we'll go ahead and take you through the whole lap, and then I know you guys love to see crash footage, so at the end of the video there's some crash reel I've put together. There was a lot of crashes today. My battery did die on the camera before the end of this race, because this race was 2 hours and 55 minutes. I might be wrong, but I want to say that is the longest Hare Scramble race we've ever done. It was a 10-mile course, which for Plymouth is big. My average lap was somewhere around a 34-minute lap. This particular lap was 32 minutes. But yeah, we had rain all day and night. The day before this race, I fully expected this to be an absolute mud fest, because any of you that were here and actually tried to park up on top of the hill where the high ground was by the starting line, you know, it was like a big old wet sponge. And yeah, I really did not expect the ground to be this good after all the rain that we had the day before. And as far as Plymouth goes, this ground was about as perfect as you're gonna get. You know, their soil conditions are, I'd say, probably 80% sand, and you know, when it gets loose, it gets really loose, and definitely by the end of the race, it was starting to dry out, got really soft and loomy, it got really hard to get through, but stupid trees. But yeah, so definitely had some some issues. You know, there were some slick spots. There's always some wet spots on this track. But for the most part, the track conditions were, like I said, really about as perfect as you can get for this location. So it actually ended up being a really good thing that they got rain, because if they didn't, the track conditions would have been dry and dusty and a lot worse than they were. This track always gets really whooped out and rutted by the time we're done with the race here. So for that reason, I was actually kind of happy that it was a 10-mile course, because it didn't get as beat up as it would have if the M-Class guys had, you know, been doing 13, 14 laps. I don't know yet, because we don't have the official results posted, but I think that the most laps anyone got was 7. I might be wrong, you know, some of the fast guys might have gotten 8 laps, but I don't think anyone got any more than 8 for sure. So, you know, that tells you right there, this was a long track. Nice thing about Plymouth is it's fairly open. There's definitely some spots that are tight, but for the most part, it's a fairly open track. Passing isn't, I don't want to say passing's easy, but it's not too difficult here. There's at least options in most corners to kind of dive off out of the way if a fast guy's coming up behind you. That being said, you know, the fast guys are out here, and they seem to think that their race is the only one that matters. I had one group of M-Class riders come through just outside of the timing and scoring. Of course, it was also on the last lap, and there was really no place for me to pull over, so I did what I could and just moved all the way to the left, and I just held my line, and I was doing everything I could to just let the fast guys go without being in their way. And instead of going around me, I had one guy on a Kawasaki screaming at me, calling me a dumb mother effer, and yeah, so if you see my video, I'd really like to talk to you outside my camper. Yeah, so, you know, these M-Class guys, I realize that, you know, you're the fast ones out here, and, you know, yeah, you guys are the ones to beat, and we're supposed to be getting out of your way and everything, but honestly, if you're the fast guy, you should be able to find your way around people like me, and, you know, the rule is to get out of the way when it's safe to do so, I don't really feel too bad about, you know, being in your way, and, yeah, you know, we're all in a race, you know, you're not the only one in a race, so, you know, keep that in mind when you're screaming at guys like me that are also racing somebody that's behind them in their class. But that's my 2 cents there. Otherwise, you know, I had a really good time today. This track last year really beat me up with all the whooped out sections. My back locked up after only 3 laps last year, and this track today, you know, it whipped my butt, but I made it the whole way, and I ended up finishing 8th. I had 4th position up until about the last half of the 5th lap. And I did 5 laps, so about the last half of my last lap, I crashed, or just laid the bike down in kind of a peculiar area. It was kind of on a uphill slope, in the middle of a turn, and when I went to pick the bike up, I accidentally hit the kill switch. And I really couldn't even get my foot up over the seat because of the angle that the bike was sitting at. So not only could I not get on the bike, but I couldn't get it started either. So I ended up having to kind of push the bike back down the hill to get on ground that I could actually stand on. And by the time I got the bike restarted and took off, I had lost, I think 3 spots. So I had gone from 4th to 8th. And 8th is where I ended up finishing. So that was a little bit of a disappointment there. But, you know, overall, I'm starting to feel really good on this bike. Once I get these clickers dialed in on the suspension, we're gonna be good. I put the Recluse Radius X clutch in this bike. My 2-stroke has the Core EXP 3.0, and this clutch definitely worked really well today. I was really happy with it. So yeah, finally getting this bike dialed in to where I'm gonna be a whole lot more comfortable on it, and it's looking like it's probably going to be a pretty good weapon out here on the track. We'll see how it goes. I didn't feel too bad putting this thing through the woods today, so you know, maybe as I get more comfortable with it, this will be my bike of choice. Right now I'm planning on kind of switching it up throughout the season as far as which track we're at, whether I'm going to run my 2-stroke or my 4-stroke. But at the end of the day, you know, we'll just play this by ear and go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of quit talking here, let you guys kind of enjoy the video, and I'll just kind of chime in here and there where I need to. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope to see everybody out there at Twin Bay in a couple weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. Thanks for watching. So here's the crash reel. This was actually on the first lap. It's the only crash I had on the first lap, but of course it crashed twice on the same corner. This berm was a lot higher than it looks like it is, and it was really soft on top, and so when I went to put the front wheel against it, I just blew right over it, and then trying to get off of that berm, this happened. So that's just my luck. So get going, and then this was, I believe, on the third lap. Just didn't get the front wheel in the air and went right into that heavy sand. Knocked the wind out of myself. Knocked the wind out of me. I was okay though. That was the typical crash for the day. Just a lot of front end sliding out and just some greasy dirt or heavy sand that just swallows you up. That was just a rut that just threw me funny. I couldn't hold my lean angle in it, and just pitched me back the other way. My front tire was covered in mud. I couldn't turn like I wanted to, so at the last second you saw me turn right towards the trees. I thought, well, there's just saplings, maybe I can just blow right through them. And right here, the back end goes crooked while I was trying to brake for the corner. So yeah, this is, that's what the crashes were like today. Just totally random. Again, hope you guys liked it, and I hope to see you at Twin Bay.